Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming. And we have Stephanie Yoakum, who is the resource navigator from Surrey Senior Services, who is going to share with us all the wonderful things that they have to offer throughout multiple counties here in the area. So without further ado, Stephanie.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking time to come and listen to the services that Surrey Service has. And I'm sorry, I'll keep turning my head to turn the slide. But Surrey Services is a senior center. First and foremost, we have 4 senior centers. We're not that far from here. I think we're only a couple miles from here. But we're very unique in that we have wraparound services that I'll explain while we go through it, because we also have home care and we have transportation right in our very own building. And that makes us very unique. And here you can actually see one of our vans. We have a contract with Tesco Connect, which is the Chester County transportation provider for senior citizens. And then we can make your schedule and pick you up from the house and bring you to the senior center, take you home. Transportation goes many wonderful places, you know, grocery stores, the beauty shop. They even can take you to the airport. So whatever you need help with. And in this picture, you'll see lots of volunteers. The volunteers are the heart and soul of our center. They give volunteer driving. They take people to the doctors. They take people to, get chemo treatments. They do it on a regular basis. They take people grocery shopping. We have volunteers that go into people's homes and help fix light bulbs or, simple things that need to be fixed around the house. So we have a lot of great volunteers. Plus, they run the activities in our center as well. So we couldn't do it without them. And then you can see our bus. We have several buses and we have several cars, and our fleet is getting bigger all the time because we haven't gotten there yet, to expand into Montgomery County and into Delaware County. Currently, we cannot provide transportation there unless it's a private driving service, but I'll explain that in a minute. It's okay, you didn't miss anything, come on in. So this is a picture of Jean LaRouche, and she started Surrey Services over 40 years ago in her home, on the 3rd floor of her home, which was an attic, because she saw that her neighbors needed help. Her neighbors were always asking her for a ride to the grocery store or to go to the doctors, and so she started putting together her friends and her other neighbors and would do a schedule and would take people to the grocery store and take people to the doctors and just help people get together so they can socialize, because it's so important. So we have her picture in our cafe, and that's actually a picture of her 3rd floor house, which she probably never knew was going to be in a slideshow that I use all the time wherever I go. So we have 4 centers. Our main center is in Devon, followed by Broomall, Bryn Mawr, and Media. The Bryn Mawr site and the Media site, they're smaller, they're cozier, and the Broomall site is much bigger. And every center has a different flair to them, a different flavor, different things they do. For example, in Broomall, they have lots of art classes. They play bingo, which I love. We don't play bingo so much at Devon, I don't know why. And they have dances at the Broomall site. Same thing with Media. They specialize in art, and they do a lot of meditation, a lot of self-care classes, which is great. They are looking to expand. They're actually looking for a new home for that site. And then we have our newest site, which is in Bryn Mawr, which is right next to the Bryn Mawr Presbyterian Church, and it's a smaller center, but they have everything. They have the art classes, they have lots of speakers, they have a very active veterans group, so every center is different. Then we also have a home care department. So if you know someone, if you know a neighbor who needs a home health aide, who needs a companion, we have that as well, and that's at our Devon site, and so is our transportation hub is located at our Devon site. So these are pictures of some of the centers. So the I don't know what that was. The upper picture is our Devon site, and that is located right behind the Devon Horse Show. So if you come, you can see the stalls for the Devon Horse Show. They're right next to the parking lot. And then the brown building is our newest center. That is the center that's in Bryn Mawr, right next to the Bryn Mawr Presbyterian Church. So you can tell it's a house. It used to be a pastor's house at one time. And then we have our friendship or fellowship house, which is the house in media, but that center's gotten so large and so many people have joined that downstairs, where they help people find housing, is upset because they can hear them exercising on the floor above them and it interrupts their workday. So they ended the lease, and so now the media will have to find a new site. And then this is the Broomwell site, and it's over in the Lawrence Park Industrial Center, like behind the Home Depot. Kind of go back there and turn. It's nestled back there. It's right across from a swim club. I think it's the Aronimink Swim Club. I don't know, but one of the benefits of the Broomwell site is in the summertime, you can go and you can take aqua size in the pool across the street. So, which I think is kind of cool. And this is just a picture of the programs and activities. I've brought newsletters. I brought lots of information that you can take, but in our newsletter, we have a calendar for each center. It'll show you all the activities. Usually every center in the morning has exercise classes, and then towards the afternoon, and then they go into their clubs or to their smaller groups or their art classes or whatever each center specializes in. They also use Veterans Park in Broomwell, if you're familiar with Broomwell at all, off of Sproul Road. And that's where they have a very large bocce group. So they play bocce all afternoon. And then the other picture is just from exercise, because we do 2 to 3 exercise classes a day because exercise is so important, especially for balance and walking and staying independent. A lot of people join our exercise classes using silver sneakers. So if you have silver sneakers or One Pass or Renew and Fit, it's a supplement to your Medicare that pays for your exercise classes, and it pays for our fitness center, which is very nice. This was during COVID, so when they could, they did all the exercise classes outside, just because more people would come and then you could take your mask off and it was just a lot easier. Other classes that we have are also offered by Mainline Health to help with balance and to help with walking, and they actually have a 12-week course starting this week, and people can come and take that, and it's a great class, and when you leave you get a free grabber and a few other things that kind of help you around the house, so that, you know, again, it's just to maintain your independence. So these are pictures of the fitness center at Devon. They have great equipment. Devon is the only one with a fitness center right now, but hopefully when media gets a new home, they're gonna have a fitness center there. They have recumbent bikes, we have treadmills, we have steppers, and then all of the equipment, they use compressed air, so you don't have to pinch your fingers, you don't have to move the weights, you just press a button, you adjust the equipment, you keep going. A lot of the physical therapists in the area like us, especially if you're going for cardiac rehab, because they'll give you a program that you can then continue here at our gym. The fitness center is $275. Unless you're a member, then it's $225. And we'll check your health insurance for you too to see if you have that silver sneakers or One Pass, because that will also cover the fitness center, which is great. These are pictures from lunch. It's the most popular activity, because any activity with food is always the popular activity, right? So in the upper corner, you see Chef Pedro and some volunteers, and then that's a picture of the Devon Cafe. So lunch at each of the Surreys is at a different time. In Devon, it's 11:30 to 12:30, but the other centers, they have it at different times. It's a full meal. It's such a large meal, we encourage people to bring Tupperware, because usually you will take half of it home. It's just we don't have any Tupperware to give everybody. So people bring their Tupperware. We also have grab-and-go meals. So the same delicious meal that our 2 chefs make, you can take for $5. You can call in the morning and order it and pick it up on the side door, or you can just pick it up after your lunch. And then you can have it for lunch the next day, or have it for dinner, or give it to a neighbor, whatever you want to do. So we also have Meals on Wheels. So we have Meals on Wheels located in the Devon building. We help a lot of people get Meals on Wheels. People don't realize that if you're having surgery and you're going to have your knee replaced and you're not going to be able to get around your home, you can actually get Meals on Wheels for a temporary basis. And then they're bringing in 2 meals for you. The the great part about Meals on Wheels is it's someone checking on you every day because they knock on the door, they want you to answer and respond, they ask how you're doing. You get to make a new friend, make a relationship, has someone else checking on your loved one if you don't live nearby. And we help a lot of people get a subsidy. We have many people that get subsidies to the point they get their Meals on Wheels for free, which is a great thing when you really need that. We also do the Philly Food Rescue. So Target and Whole Foods donate food to us 3 times a week. And we use that food in our kitchen, and we put that food out, and seniors are welcome to take it. We get the best bread you've ever seen. It's beautiful sourdough bread and bread with currants and raisins, and we put that on a table on a Friday, and the entire cafe will empty to grab a loaf of bread and take it back to the table with them. But it's nice because we're using all our food. We also have gardens outside. We grow our own tomatoes and our own herbs, and so we recycle everything that we get. I think I got all those. These are the lunch times at the different centers. So depending on what center you go to, you don't make a reservation at Devon or Broomall, but you do make a reservation if you go to the Bryn Mawr, the media site. Our centers have lunch punch cards. Not that this is important for you, but you can give them as a gift to people too. Or your adult child who doesn't live with you can call in and order cards for you to pick up, and it's just a nice way to encourage you to go to the senior center, to go have lunch, to go eat with other folks. We help a lot of folks that come into our center that may be less fortunate. Right now, things are really hard. People that are on SNAP or food stamps have had those reduced, and we do have a low-income senior housing development right near us, and a lot of those folks are struggling. I help a gentleman every week, and he gets $78 a month in food stamps. So think about that. Some people spend that in a day. Some people spend that in a week, and he has that for the whole month. So we do help a lot of people by giving them these food cards, and then no one can tell. You can't tell that you've been given, the punch card for lunch, but it helps a lot of people who are struggling and having a hard time. And I'm just going to bypass this one because I'm sorry, this is a multi-purpose slideshow, but we use a computer to track everyone that comes in the building. A, for emergencies, so we know how many people are in the building, God forbid, there's a fire. But it also helps us because we are a nonprofit, so 70% of what we spend for our budget every year, we have to raise through fundraising. So the numbers we collect through our computer system help us write grants so that we can continue. Yeah, you don't need that one. Uh-oh, it doesn't want to go forward. I think the tech guys are drinking coffee. Oh, made it. Thank you. No. Oh, no. Now where are you going? No. Okay, transportation. This is huge. So many seniors have to give up driving. Some of them want to, some of them don't want to, right? So we can help you. We can help bring you to the center. When you join Chesco Connect, it is $1 to go to a senior center. It's $1 to go to the grocery store, and it's $1 to go to the doctor's. That's cheaper than gas. Like, you could leave the car at home and just get Chesco Connect to go to your different places and save your gas money, right? So we have big vans. We can help people with wheelchairs, with walkers, with canes. We also have cars, so if you don't need one of the big vans, we can help you in a car. They are busy every day. They take reservations 10 days in advance, and they take lots of people to the doctors every day. They take people to the airport, which is a great member benefit. It is, I think, $73 for 2 people. That's cheaper than Uber. They take you right down, drop you off at the airport, they'll come back and get you, they'll bring you home. But we also do medical transportation, and a lot of people don't think about this. But there's that annual or every 5-year thing where you have to go get the colonoscopy. No one wants to talk about it, I know, but you get anesthesia with that. You're not allowed to drive. So you have to have someone drive you. You have to give that nurse or the hospital, whoever, a name and a number who's going to come pick you up. You're not allowed to use Uber, and you're not allowed to use Lyft. And that's because they don't know you. So if you have something wrong when you're going home, at least the person taking you home is going to know about that. So we can do that. We can provide that medical transportation. We can also provide transportation if you're going to have an operation or a procedure in the hospital. Because we have the home care, we have a nurse available. The nurse will go with you. She'll check you in for your procedures. She'll stay for the whole thing, takes you home, goes to the pharmacy, gets your prescriptions, make sure you're comfortable in the house before she leaves, and she'll call your family and let them know how you're doing. There's no other senior center around here that does that, at least not right now. So that is a great service. I think I covered all those. The only drawback from this is that we can only do transportation in Chester County unless it's a private driving service. And I do have information on the prices. So for members, it's $29 an hour if you need to go somewhere outside of Chester County. For example, we take lots of people for dialysis, but it's outside of the county because that's where they started. We take people for chemo in the city. It's outside of Chester County. So they get charged that $29 an hour, which starts from the center. They take them down, wait for them, and then bring them back. But it is a better alternative than taking the bus. It's an alternative if you don't have a family or friend that can help you, right? And it's better than Uber or Lyft as well. This is one of our pictures from home care. So we have personal care assistants that can come into the house. If you have a loved one that you want to age in place, that you want them to live at home with you, this is a perfect solution because they can come in for 4-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, or you can get 24-hour care. Some people have long-term care insurance that will pay for it. Our veterans, we work with the veterans to have that covered so that you can have care in your home or you can pay privately. They also accept the Chester County Department of Aging funding program through their options program. But this is a great way to keep your loved one home, as long as possible. For a lot of people, that's the goal. They don't want to use a nursing home. They don't want to use an assisted living. They just want to have them stay at home with them. We also have financial managers through our home care department. So let's say you're independent, you're living on your own, but you got that letter that says you missed your payment for your health insurance or you missed your payment for your life insurance because you're not keeping up with the bills. These folks will come in and they'll help you pay your bills. They'll help you organize your bills, when it's supposed to be paid. They'll help you keep your bank account, balanced and know what's in there. And a lot of adult children use this service for their parents because their parents are doing really good, but they're just forgetting. The other hard part about now, if you're in your 80s or your 90s, you didn't grow up with a computer, right? Well, now, how do they want you to pay your bills? Online banking. Go to this website, go to that website. And a lot of seniors don't understand how to do that. So they'll help you with that. They'll help you set up online banking. They'll help you set up your online bill pays. They do the live-in care that we talked about. They also do the medical transport, so they can take you if you need surgery or if you have to have a procedure. And they also do housekeeping. That's like their most popular service. We get calls all the time. Can they come today? No, I'm really sorry. They can't start today. It takes, for our home care department to get started in your home, it takes about 10 days. From the time you call, you have to get an assessment in your home, till when they can provide service. The only service we can't do for home care, which sounds unusual, is we have a lot of cases of hoarding. We've had people that have lived in their homes for 50 and 60 years, and they've kept everything. And I mean everything. They've kept every receipt, every child's paper from school, every article of clothing they ever wore and thought they'd wear again, and some of their houses are filled up to the ceiling. I got to go meet a very nice lady in her home, but I was called and asked to go check on her because transportation went to get her, and her front door was open. And it was like 20 degrees out. Her front door was open because it couldn't close. There was so much stuff in her house that she had started putting stuff in front of the door, and then the screen door was all she had left. So first it was a security issue, right? Second, the house was freezing cold, and her house was so full of items, and she had a walker that I had to go find the walker and carry it sideways down the little tiny alley she had to put it outside, and then go back and get her to come out of the house. And I felt bad for her. She lived all alone. She had an adult daughter, but her adult daughter has a son with autism and can't always come to help her. So we found her some volunteers that came in and helped her to start going through things. It didn't last long because she kicked out the volunteers. But it was long enough that they got the place around the door cleared so she can close the door, and they'll keep trying to go back, you know, because the hardest thing when you're a hoarder is you don't want to throw anything away, you want to hold on to it. But, so we'll just keep trying, but it did work. At least she got the door closed, so that was the good part. Information and assistance. This is what I do. They call me the resource navigator, but I answer questions all day, and we get calls for everything. We just finished tax season, and I say it, tax season, it's kind of like hunting season because we opened our reservations for appointments in January. We had 260 appointments, and we must have filled every slot 2 or 3 times, and I'm not kidding. You know, people called, originally got the appointment, then called and said, oh, I don't need it anymore. Then they'd call, someone else would fill it. And then on the actual day of taxes, people wouldn't show for their appointment, which I was very disappointed by. I'm like, really? It's a $300 appointment just to get your basic taxes done. But it's a great service. We offered it every Tuesday. We offered it from the end of February all the way through April 15th. So it's a great service. The other thing I take reservations for is PA Medi. So if you have Medicare, I have a feeling a few of you in the room have Medicare, we have appointments at the center every Monday, and a trained counselor will go through your Medicare benefits with you and tell you whether you have what you need. You know, the thing a lot of people don't think about is people don't get prescription coverage sometimes. I'm not on any medicine, I don't need it, and then you get an infection, and then they prescribe an antibiotic, and it's $100, and you're like, whoa, you know, why is this so expensive? Well, you don't have prescription coverage. You can come in, they'll get you your prescription coverage. It actually, you can change your prescription coverage every 4 months. Every quarter you can change it, and a lot of people don't know that. But most people come in from September through December because open enrollment is in December. And then you can make sure you have the right supplement, that it's covering everything you want it to cover. And there's even supplements out there now that cover nursing home care. And a lot of people I've noticed are going towards them and picking those supplements up just in case they need that. Other things I help with are volunteers. Like I said, the volunteers are the heart and soul of our center. People call me, they're like, I need my leaves raked. Okay, we put it out there to our volunteer base. We'll find a group usually. They'll come in, they'll rake up the leaves in your yard. We're doing spring yard cleanup right now. We do it in the fall as well. We get a lot of people, can you come change my screens? Can you put my air conditioner in? The other day when it was like 80 degrees, all of a sudden everyone called and go, I need my air conditioner put in. It's like, okay, well, let me write that up. But people will call for all kinds of things. The best thing I've had so far, and I'm not making fun of this gentleman, but we have a gentleman who's 102 years old. And he called, he's like, Steph, I got a problem. I said, oh, what's wrong? He said, I lost my dentures. They're under the sink. I said, oh, well, this will be an interesting one. Let me see who will do this one. And then I was like, well, where do you live? He lived in Chesterbrook. I said, well, I'll go right by there on the way home. I said, if I don't find anyone, I'll stop by and pick up your teeth for you so you can clean them off and put them back in. And so I actually found a volunteer, and I called him back, and he goes, oh, it's okay. I called the neighbor. The neighbor came and got them. I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad someone got your teeth for you. So, because that one was a little unusual, but we'll do anything you ask as long as we can find someone willing, you know, to come over and help you out and do it. The other thing that I help people arrange their home meals. A lot of people aren't good at cooking, or you know, they're cooking the same thing all the time. So there's some services out there that will come into your home and cook meals for you, and then put it in the freezer. Then you take them out and heat them up as you want. Again, this is a situation where adult children will call me and say, I live in Chicago, I was talking to mom, she went to the doctor, she lost 15 pounds because she's not eating. So then we have to figure out, you know, can I get you into the center? Do we get you Meals on Wheels? What kind of service do we get? There's a great service out there called Mom's Meals, and they make frozen meals and they'll ship them anywhere in the United States. It's a great option, you know, because then you can pick everything. The hard part with it, again, is it's all on a website. So if a senior can't use a website, they need someone they can trust that can use the website to order the meals for them. So these are all our lovely volunteers. We've got volunteers painting. We have volunteers that are packing the meals. Every morning at 7 a.m., the volunteers show up for the Meals on Wheels. Our Meals on Wheels volunteers deliver in blizzards. They will go out in the snow. Unless it's a state of emergency, they go out and deliver the food because they know it's important. They know it's that one contact with that person at home to make sure they're okay. So I think they're amazing. We have computer volunteers that help track all our data for us. We have volunteers that help raise funds for us and help with development. They do administration. I have volunteers that help me. I do friendly calls. I don't really do them, but I help coordinate them where we call seniors in their home to check on them, especially if we heard that you fell or you were in the hospital or we haven't even seen you at the center in a while. We'll just call you and see how you're doing. Special events. So, like I said, we're a nonprofit. We have to raise 70% of our budget every year. I brought the invitations with me. They're actually beautiful for our garden party. So we have two main fundraisers. We have the holiday house tour in the winter, where they go through beautiful homes that are decorated. And then in June, we have our garden party. And this year, the garden party is being held where they keep the Clydesdales for the Devon Horse Show. It's an absolutely beautiful farm. It's a great event, so if you would like to come to a garden party, come to our garden party. They also do other things like Delco Gives in Delaware County. They're having a Kentucky Derby party at the Broomall site that raises money for the Delaware County sites. So we do other things throughout the year, but that's the main two things, is our holiday house tour and our garden party. And then there's our consignment shop. So if you're thinking about downsizing and you'd like to help us or help do support a good program, you can sell your furniture, you can sell your jewelry, you can sell your knickknacks at the consignment store. They don't do clothing at our consignment store. And then you get part of it, and then we get part of it. It's also a lot of fun to go shopping there. It's kind of like going through a history museum because people put things in there you haven't seen in a really long time. So I actually love going there. This is more in the health and wellness. We average at least 2 exercise classes a day, sometimes 3, and it's everything from doing silver sneakers, we have line dancing, they do Tai Chi, they do better back yoga. You gotta be in really good shape for that one. But they do different levels of yoga class. So any kind of exercise you could think of, they do. And then, like I said, they even have aquasize at the Broomall site, so lots of opportunities to do exercise. These are pictures from the media site. They also love bingo. They're in a Delco site, so they all love bingo. And every site does do meal delivery and Meals on Wheels. So the gentleman in the upper right corner, your upper left corner, the gentleman holding the dog. Does anyone remember the book or the movie about the veteran who lived in Veterans Stadium? Any of you guys remember that story? I'm so sorry, his name has escaped me, but he was a veteran who was homeless and started living in one of the consignment stands that wasn't being used in Veterans Stadium. He stayed there for 3 years. Then he wrote a book about it, and they made a movie about it. And he came to our site and told us about it, and that's his dog who lived with them also. And it was really cool. Like, he got autographs from all the pro sports players that were there, and no one ever realized until towards the end that he actually lived in the stadium, made a home, brought in furniture. Like, how no one noticed? He brought furniture into the stadium and made an apartment out of it, which I thought was absolutely amazing. We also have a veteran in the veterans group who's 100 years old. He comes in and tells about his service in World War II. And then afterwards, he goes out and plays 9 holes of golf. And he's 100 years old. Very, very fit, very spry. Just goes to tell you, if you stay active, you can live a long, healthy life. This is at our Broomall site. Broomall has billiards, so if you like to shoot pool. They also have weaving looms, so if you want to learn how to weave, or if you weave, you can come in and do a weaving project. They have the bocce, and then they always have parties dance parties once a month, and they have musical bingo. So you have to name that tune in order to play the bingo game, which I think is awesome. This is at our Bryn Mawr site, and that is the veteran I was telling you about that's 100 years old. Sorry, it's not a better picture. And they also have an art, all the centers have art classes. They have a watercolor class there, a fiber arts class. They have lots of really nice art classes there. So why Surrey? Basically, it helps you increase your opportunity for social engagement. One of the things that can help you fight cognitive decline is social engagement. Isolation only encourages it because you're all by yourself and you're not using your brain and you're not out there talking to people. We teach a stronger memory class in which you do math for 15 minutes, you write for 15 minutes, and then you talk about it for 15 minutes. And that's all evidence-based, scientifically, researched activities to help your brain stay functioning, to stay away from cognitive impairment. So coming out to the senior center and just socializing, just like you come to church and you socialize with everyone. A lot of folks don't do that. So it's one of the reasons that we're there. We also have transportation, we have healthy meals. You don't have to cook that big meal anymore. You can have our big meal for lunch, you can go home and you can make a light dinner. It saves in your grocery shopping, it saves in your cooking, just saves in what you have to do at the house. We have the volunteer support. We also encourage people to come volunteer. Then you're giving back to your community, and there's so many ways you can volunteer for us. We also have all the home care services. You might not need it now, but you might have a friend that needs it, or maybe you know someone that needs it temporarily, and we have all our transportation services. Oh, and so the picture of the lady was at our garden party last year, and she's a Holocaust survivor. And she came and told us how her and her family survived the Holocaust. You could have heard a pin drop in that tent. Like, no one made a noise. Her story was fantastic. It was sad, but it was fantastic. And the resilience that she has was amazing. She is in her 90s. We send people electronic newsletters, we send them newsletters in the mail, and we send lots of reminders through emails to come and join our activities. Anybody have any questions? Yes? Oh,
You just have to talk in, yes.
Yvette's going to give you a mic. No, he's got a good voice.
I don't need a mic. I know who these people are. Online, okay, fine. My question is, we live out in the Westchester area. Is there a program like this that's more centered in Westchester than the main line, Broomall area?
So the answer is yes. So there's the Brandywine Valley Senior Center. There's actually three of them. One's in Westchester, one's in Coatesville, and one's in Downingtown. They are not Surrey centers, but they are Chester County Senior Centers.
We can work together just for that.
We do have a lot of people that come from Westchester, though, to our center, so.
If you belong to, say, Surrey and Devon, does that give you access to services at all the others? So if they have an exercise class somewhere else, you can do that?
Yes, you can go to all 4 sites. A lot of our folks go over there to Broomall for aquasize in the summer. They go for the bocce classes. A lot of them will go to Bryn Mawr to take a class, and they'll go down to Media to take a class. So we call it center hopping, and we have a lot of members that go center hopping, so, yep.
Do you offer vegetarian meals or gluten-free meals?
We are working on that because that has been a concern that was brought to our attention. So we do usually have a vegetarian option. We are not as good on the gluten-free, but they're working on it. And in the newsletter, the menu is there each day, and then there's a little key on there that will tell you whether it's vegetarian, pescatarian, and what it is. But that's a great question.
Yeah, I got in late, so I might have missed the government. Is there government support, and what do you expect will happen with that in the near future?
Well, that's a great question. I will admit we were told to stay politically correct, so we'll stay there. But we do fear what will happen to our funding. I was giving the example, I help people with food stamps all the time. They've already had their food stamps cut. Some of them had it cut in half. It was really sad. we don't get a lot of government support. We get maybe a couple dollars per person per day, which is why we are a nonprofit and we have to raise 70% of our funds. There's something I do in the summertime where I give farmer market vouchers to people that qualify. And you'd be surprised, you can make $45,000 and still qualify. So I get a lot of people. I put the date out and I do nothing else but hand out these vouchers. That program's most likely going away this year because they're gonna cut that. So we anticipate the next 4 years are going to be a struggle financially, but we're keeping our chin up and just going forward.
Is there any other questions? Well, thank you so much, Stephanie,
Thank
for
you.
coming out. I really appreciate the time and effort. And I just want to share that when I first reached out to Stephanie, she invited me to come over, take a look, and I had lunch with Stephanie and 2 interns.
Yep, my 2 student interns.
Let me tell you, the lunch was amazing. It was it 3-course meal?
It's a 3-course meal. It always have soup, and then we have the main entree, and then we have a dessert cart.
It was fabulous. I mean, this is a place that I think I would just go to lunch, just like, hey, let's go to lunch. And it was $7.
It's $7 for members. You can't get a burger at McDonald's for $7. Like,
Yeah, so if any of you want to go to Surrey Services and check it out, email me and we can go together.
Right.
And we can have lunch.
Awesome.
Stephanie, this is just a little token of our
Oh.
appreciation. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Just a little small thing from MLUC, and we really
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
Great.
And it's been great to know you professionally and personally as well.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll stick around if anyone else has any questions, okay?